Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think let's try it again. Let's see if we can have this thing done again. So I want to share with you a few things concerning exam preparations. We tried to do it a little bit earlier and it didn't work out too well, but I will not give up. Okay, because exams are coming very close and it's important that you guys know what you need to do to prepare for these final exams. Great. So welcome. And I hope that today's session is going to be of great help to you. Great. So let's get started. Now, I've prepared a couple of pointers to help you SIP students to prepare for your final examinations. Now, today I'm going to be dealing with about 7 things that I call examination shortcomings that you need to look out for when you answer constructive response questions. Now, constructive response basically means you are asked to construct an answer from the knowledge that you have based on the question that you have been given. It is different from objective response because objective response, they give you a number of questions. It is what we normally call multiple choice. So they give you a number of questions and you have to choose the correct answer or the best answer out of those. Today, we are looking at constructive response examination shortcomings. All right, so let's hit it running. Examination shortcoming number 1. Not using the case study material and information that you have been given. Now, a number of questions come with a case study. So they'll give you a scenario and usually, not usually, all the time, it is procurement related. And then they will start asking you questions, the things that you know about. So they'll give you the scenario and then they will they'll ask you about the capital procurements in that scenario. You don't go off on a tangent and start bringing elements of capital procurement or examples of capital procurement that are not given in the study material. Do your best to stay and stick with the elements that are highlighted in the case study. So that is the one thing. And now, let me just do this one more thing. You've seen my face. I want to take it off so that we can just concentrate on what we have to talk about. So ladies and gentlemen, be sure to use case study materials and information that you have been given. Number 2, all right. Number 2, ignoring command words. Ignoring command words is another examination shortcoming. Here, what you need to do is that you need to understand what command words are and know what exactly you are required to do, all right? If you ignore a command word, then you are not going to get a very good mark in the exam. Now, I give the good command word example I give is the word compare. They may ask you to compare the manufacturing sector versus the retail sector. Now, compare, you have to understand what this command word is. And later on, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to share with you in more detail these elements, these line items that you see here on the screen. So we'll talk about these command words, we'll discuss what they imply and what they mean and what they expect you to do when you are answering questions and how you too should take these command words into in answering your questions. All right. So ensure that you take these into account. I was talking about the command word called compare. Now, compare means that you bring the similarities or differences of 2 things. Normally, they'll ask you to compare these 2 things. It could be performance specification versus conformance specification, compare these 2. And so you need to bring out the differences or the similarities so that they come out, all right? Next one is poor time management. Now, here's what I tell my students. Poor time management most of the time is not viewed in a way that students run out of time. Students underestimate the amount of material they are required to put on paper for the questions they are asked. You are usually given 3 hours to answer 4 questions. Now, a lot of students think that those 4 questions, they can do them in 1 hour and they're out of the examinations room. Friends, that is not the case. You need to settle down. I tell my students, settle down and pack your bags. You're going nowhere until the full 3 hours is finished. Manage your time well. On the other hand as well, of course, you need to see that you are careful not to run out of time, because sometimes you might get excited and get carried away answering this particular question and you will run out of time. Here's what I normally advise. Get a watch that works. Of course, these smart watches that go on the internet are not allowed in the exam room. Get a normal watch with hands and so on. Put it in front of you and ensure that you mark the time when you will do which question. So question 1, you will do it from 3 o'clock until quarter to 4. Once quarter to 4 hits, whether you finish question 1 or not, go to the next question, all right? And if you save time on some of the questions that you answer fast, you can come back to the ones that you did not answer. But we'll come to this later, and I'm going to prepare slides on each one of these as we prepare you for your final exam. Number 4, answering outside the syllabus. Ladies and gentlemen, it is critical that you do not answer outside the syllabus. Every time you are given a question, it is related to procurement and supply chain management. Don't bring in examples that talk about leaders who are in the political world. In South Africa, we had the privilege of having one of the great leaders called Nelson Mandela. In Zambia, we had the privilege of having a leader called Kenneth Kaunda. But when they ask about leadership, you need to bring in examples of specific procurement-related leadership concepts. All right, so keep that in mind. Don't answer outside the syllabus. When you're dealing with conflict resolution, it is conflict in negotiations. It is not conflict between husband and wife. So those, you can't give those as examples. You give examples of procurement related areas, okay? Lack of exam preparation is a 5th shortcoming, examination shortcoming. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Lack of exam preparations, ladies and gentlemen, will prevent you from getting a very good mark. So what we're saying is you still have time now. We've got about 2 weeks to go before the final. You start writing your exams. Do sit down and read, study, get a little notepad where you can write things that will help you remember. Today, we've got the luxury of having phones that can read for you while you are driving. You can, you know, read these things for you. If you've got the luxury of having, or the opportunity of having young people or your children or younger brothers, let them read the manuals for you and record them, and then listen to them as you're driving. Put it on your Bluetooth in the car, listen to it. Prepare, prepare, prepare. It will help you. Not answering the question set. Now, question sets sometimes come, they may have 2 command words, all right? One time there was a question that says identify and describe, all right? So you had to identify and then describe. Answer the whole set. Read through the question and give an answer to every set that has been asked. Pay attention to the question, ladies and gentlemen. So do your best to read it once, twice, thrice, 3 times is good enough. Then you get a good understanding. And then poor answering structure as well. Now, here, I'd like to warn you that when you write final exams, normally they come either as they ask you to list something. Only when you are asked to list should you use a list. If you've been asked to explain anything else, you need to write an introduction, paragraph, and a conclusion. We'll come to that. Do a proper structure and leave proper gaps between the different points. But we'll talk about that as well in another one, in another presentation. The last point is nerves. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are sitting in the exam room, you are there to have fun. So relax. Once you're relaxed, you are able to remember things. And if you become too nervous, you might start forgetting things. So, and one other thing that helps you not to have too many nerves is to come early for your exam. When you are a student of Amilak Training Center, we've got a campus here and a place for students to wait from far away from where the exam is happening, so that you can sit down, settle down, and wait until your time comes to go into the examination room. All right. So please do subscribe if you have not yet done so. And if you are an independent student listening from wherever you are, please know that we are there for you. You can still register for the revision that is taking place right now. All right. Bye-bye. We'll see you again with another episode.